first up, I have the representative of Summit Institute of Development. Please join me in welcoming Ibu Indriati Pratiwi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and participants. Welcome to the Genomics Science Dojo Tournament. I stand before you today with a profound sense of gratitude and excitement to the exciting final event of the Genomics Science Dojo Tournament. Okay, I am Indriati Pratiwi from the Summit Institute for Development. I am very excited to welcome you all to this event. I extend a warm welcome to Zoe Doyan from the British Embassy, and then Prof. Fasli Jalal from the Yarsi University. Thank you for your support, Prof, to accommodating our needs for the venue. And then the judges and the sensei, the collaborator from the Genomic Science Dojo. Welcome and great appreciation to the Dojo Sensei, Dr. Anuraj Shankar from the Oxford University Clinical Research Unit, and then Prof. Setia Permana from Institute of Statistics, Prof. Rina Agustina from Human Nutrition and Research Center Imeri Faculty of Medicine, Universitas of Indonesia, Dr. Ariel Pradipta from the Imeri FKUI, and then from the GSI Academy, and our esteemed judges, Dr. Aditya Warman, Dr. Ahmad Hidayat, Dr. Quincy, Dr. Ade Wiradiani. I'll also welcome all the participants that have been selected and gathered here. I'm very happy to see you all and wish you the best to excel the tournament and could be selected for the workshop in Lombok. A series of training sessions will head from January 19 to February 17, 2024 in various venues in Jakarta. Inspired by the principle of martial arts, the dojo translates to place of the way in Japanese, where science is nurtured through the direct practice of core skills and sparring, which involves criticizing and defending one's ideas in match. During the sessions, participants practice sparring by refining and delivering their arguments to their opponents and receiving feedback. By emphasizing the process of building arguments rather than solely presenting data, participants learn not only about their own weakness in preparing the manuscript, but also gain valuable insight from their opponent's argument and presentation. This Saturday, March 2nd, 2024, participants are prepared to present their arguments and anticipate attacks from their opponents in the Dojo tournament. Thank you all for your presence and commitment to advancing the frontiers of genomics publication in Indonesia. These days ahead are not just an opportunity, they are a responsibility. Let us make every moment count as we collectively contribute to the ever-expanding tapestry of scientific understanding. The future is intricately written in our hands, and together we hold the pen. As we come to this event, let the Genomic Science Dojo Tournament begin. Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ibu Indri. Next up, we have a speech from the Chief of Science of GSI Lab. So my personal Chief of Science, so please join me in welcoming Dr. Ariel Pradipta.
How long do I have? Thank you very much, esteemed guests. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and also great participants. Dojo minds, as I usually call them, but that is not official. My name is Ariel Pradipta. I hold several scientific work, I guess. I'm in the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology in University of Indonesia. I'm also the Chief Scientific in Genomics or Data Indonesia Lab, and has a role in GSI Academy also. So I usually hype these events up, and I think I want to do it a little bit more with a little bit more somber tone. When I was in Osaka University, one of the biggest one of the most prestigious found was from Kishimoto Sensei, Tadamitsu Kishimoto. He cloned IL-6. Do you know IL-6? Interleukin 6. It is an interleukin, a cytokine, that at first was found to be important in IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, so Crohn's disease, because of its relations to autoimmune reactions in that case. But as time goes by, and when I say time, it's actually 31 years, we found that interleukin 6 plays a very important role in inflammation. And inflammation happens in many different things, including COVID. So during COVID, IL-6, which anti-IL-6, which comes with MAP, so like rituximab or some other different MABs, there's a lot of different MABs, adalimumab, they become very important in managing the rapid inflammation of COVID-19 in those who do not have the immunity for it. That kind of growth of a scientific finding is only possible through multidisciplinary approach, an open mind, but yet a closed-kept belief of the scientific find itself. It requires communication, it requires courage, and it requires a little bit of a stubbornness with the right amount of open-mindedness. Because you have to be stubborn to investigate only one thing for 31 years. That's how long I've lived. He researched the same thing for 31 years. No change. And he kept on it, and he stayed on it. Unfortunately, he didn't win a Nobel, but there are many different ways to appreciate science, not just a Nobel Prize, although I wouldn't say no to one. Finally, in a lot of our research today, now that we are exposed to not just health research, but a lot of environmental research, social research, database research, there are many different disciplines of science. In each of those science disciplines, there are, this is the IL-6 one. In each of those scientific communities, in each of those scientific disciplines, there are stakeholders that believe, that hopefully will believe in you, but most likely they will believe in your findings. Now, how you make them believe your findings is a touch of, again, communication, your stubbornness, and your ability to present that. If we can go to the next slide, this is a little bit of a more of an extreme example, is that we can cure blindness now, like Jesus. So this is from the ophthalmology side. The first time Leber congenital amaurosis was described was 1869. And in the year 2000, 131 years later, is the discovery of the gene therapy for Leber's congenital amaurosis in dogs. And then in the year 2007 was the first successful therapy in humans. It takes 131 years of many people's stubbornness in the positive way to be able to reach that point. So the last slide I want to show is that this is the kind of cycle that we will face in our careers as researchers, as clinicians, if some of you are, or as lab managers, as tutors, as mentors. Next slide, please. You just keep clicking next until the whole picture comes out. Right. In the various molecular discoveries that we've discussed, the different in-depth studies that we've referred to in our papers. Hopefully there's an intervention or an implementation that we see. It might not be at this stage, but it should be what we see forward. We still need the different community engagement, and each of those steps will require feedback. That's where the dojo comes in. We are getting used to giving feedback because we want other branches of science to move with us. But we also need to practice to receive feedback and respond to them accordingly. Some responses are actions, meaning a new method, a new collaboration, a new session, a new paper altogether. Some response requires the right sentence, the right use of words, the right use of references. And those are the things that hopefully this dojo have given you a place to simulate that. So with that, I just want to say thank you very much to the British Embassy, to GSI Lab, to SID, to ERC, because of the belief that we can do this together, and the many different judges, the many honored judges, on the belief that we can achieve this together. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ariel. So next up, we have someone that we know. We've learned from him from the past few weeks. So from Oxford University Clinical Research Unit, please welcome Dr. Anuraj Shankar.
Hello, Dojo Mites. How are you doing? Yeah, all right. Great to see everyone here. A very exciting event. On behalf of the Oxford University Clinical Research Unit, I would just like to express my appreciation for everyone here, all the sensei, all the judges. Very kind of you to share your time and your wisdom and expertise. And thank you to Professor Fasli Jalal, Rector of Yarsi University, for making this location available to us. And it's fantastic to have it at a university setting, and especially such a preeminent institution in Indonesia. So thank you so much for that. And especially a big thanks to our colleagues at the UK Embassy for appreciating the need for this and supporting this, and not just from the grant, but in fact from the idea standpoint and helping this to evolve. So as you've seen in the dojo, feedback, nurturing, all very important, and I think everyone working together has enabled that to happen. And I'd especially like to acknowledge also two colleagues that really helped a lot with making this dojo possible. Daniel Fattori from Brazil, University of Sao Paulo, who was here helping with a lot of the dojo sessions. Maybe he's online with us. And also Felipe Argolo, also from Brazil. And these two guys actually had initially started as well, Science Dojo in Brazil, and that helped to inspire us as well. So I think just on behalf of OUCRU, Oxford University Clinical Research Unit, I hope everyone continues to aspire with what you've learned today. This dojo has been just the beginning point, and some of you will move on to the workshop, but actually all of you are moving on to continued engagement in science, and we will stay engaged with all of you. So whatever the outcome is here today, everyone is a winner, so don't worry about that. And so thank you so much, and looking forward to working with all of you today. It will be very exciting tournament today, so thank you. Oh, and as I had mentioned once before, this is really the first in the world event as we're doing. You are all co-creators in this exciting process. And there have been many inquiries from around the world. People have heard what we all are doing, what you all are doing, and they're thinking they want a genomics and science dojo too. So, so you all are the senseis of the future. So let's do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Anuraj. So next up, we haven't really seen her since the launch, but trust me, she's always been every part of our ways. So next up, I would like to invite the Health Attaché of the British Embassy in Jakarta. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Zoe Doyan.
I'm a bit shorter than you, Dr. Anuraj. So thank you. It's so exciting to see you all again. I have indeed been hearing how you're getting on, but it's going to be great to actually see it in action and see how your ideas and your skills have developed. So welcome everybody here today. Thank you so much, Rector, Professor, for allowing us to be here. Thank you to OUCRU, to Dr. Anuraj, to Summit Institute for Development, GSI, all the professors and the sensei, and everyone who's supported this process. And that actually means you, because you've all put the time in, out of hours, thinking about it, waking up in the night, thinking of the perfect response you wish you'd given the last time, but you will give today. Scientists have passion. I can see it all in what you're doing and the ideas you have. It's a search for understanding, it's curiosity. We might call it in another context critical thinking, not just to accept what other people tell you, but to ask why and how and whether and where and, oh, maybe that could apply to me, something from somewhere else. And that curiosity is fundamental. But to be able to challenge those, to bring that to life, to challenge professionally, respectfully, but effectively, to make the other person think, isn't easy, and we're not born with it. And in learning to do that and how to do it effectively and quickly to hone down to what's important, actually you're learning to challenge yourself as well. So you're helping colleagues across the community improve what they do, pose questions better and answer them better, but you're also helping yourselves. And so everybody grows as well. And okay, that means the bar gets higher and you all have to be better still. So it never ends. You carry on doing it. And that's the paradigm. It's not, I'm not sure of myself, I'm new, young researcher, maybe I can't, or I'm such an eminent professor that I couldn't possibly be found wrong. Yeah, that's human, but it's not how we progress in this. It's about being willing to, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, okay, maybe I will take a different move, or, oh, but you didn't see, and the response. And that's also a human way of thinking through it, but not many of us are born with it. And it takes practice. Dojo, it takes training. It's absolutely normal for it not to be normal, and us to learn how to do it and to get better at doing it ourselves and receiving, and then, as you say, being the sensei of the future, helping other people to be comfortable to do it. You model it, you show others, you lead them. So I'm really excited about that. I look forward to you doing it everywhere. I'm maybe a little older than some of you, so I don't know if this will work, but back in the days of Hollywood preeminence, there were a couple of dancers, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you remember them? Very well-dressed, beautiful, and the statement was made for, everybody said that Fred Astaire was amazing. And a cartoonist pointed out that Ginger Rogers did it all backwards and in heels. And in some ways, that's the challenge that you've all been facing and surpassing. So there's a cultural challenge of it being okay to challenge, and you're doing it in English. So I'm so impressed by what you do and how you do it, and I can't wait to hear. Did I have anything else I was meant to say? Only that this is true whether you become the senior professor and running your own lab in the best universities and at conferences around the world. But it's also true if you're doing R&D in a company. It's true if you are developing evidence to guide policy of governments. This applies across the board. This is the way of learning to pose the question, set the design, interpret the evidence, and make other people do something different. So please carry on doing it. Tidak sabar, ayo mulai, can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Doyan. Okay, so last but not least, I'd like to invite our lovely and respected host. Please welcome Director of VRC University, Professor Dr. Fazli Jalal.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Your Excellency, Madam Zoe Doyan from British Embassy, let's give a big applause to her. Professor Anuraj Shankar from the Oxford University Clinical Research Unit in Indonesia, our always motivating, all of us in expanding science and making science be more useful to the people. And Dr. Ariel Pradipta from the SI Lab, thank you for inspiring speeches. I listened to 2 times of your speech already. And also judges and sensei and SID as a host, and all participants, congratulations, because for me, you are all champion. Gives a big applause to you. It is an honor and a privilege to us at VRC University to be part of this important event, the first of the kind in the world. And I think VRC is also dedicated quietly to genomic, because we have a very strong lab and we have about close to 30 PhDs in the biomedical sciences, and we have a PhD program in biomedical science also. So for us, this is a very important event and inspiring us to do more. And as a title, Dojo for Genomic Science, you are practicing actually the critical thinking, the first 21st century skill, which is the first time. The first one is critical thinking and problem solving. You do it. And also you become creative. Creativity is the second one. And you are collaborate each other. And also you communicate your thing, your thought, to others. And then you do it with characters. So congratulations to all achievement. Good luck, and God bless us all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Professor. So that is it for our opening session today. Next up, we'll move to the tournament tutorial. And then we'll move to the actual tournaments. So I'm afraid that is it from me and the committee. On behalf of us, I'd like to say thank you and good luck to your tournament. And I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Anuraj for the tutorial. Thank you.
All right, so let's go over how we got here and some of the ground rules for how we're going to have this tournament today. So let me get the first slide. Okay, so this is our orientation to the Dojo tournament. Now, some of this I think you've already seen, but I just want to give a recap of this. So, the original idea here, and as many have articulated, is we really wanted to create a way to foster critical thinking, engagement, debate for science, right? So many times in schooling and our training, we're not necessarily getting this advocacy, that to feel open and safe, to challenge and to be challenged. So the goal of the dojo was to create a safe place for that. So that's really how this was catalyzed. So we're really focusing on some of these key things, as Dr. Fosley mentioned: critical thinking, high-quality analytics, scientific writing, which you have all been, focusing on, and of course, personal agency and persuasion. Feeling like, yeah, I can do it. So we focused on creation of this new sort of intellectual combat sport that we call Shinjitsu. And you're all the first Shinjitsu practitioners, I think, in the world. And, oops, lost the slides there. So, okay, so you're all, oh, thank you so much, yeah. So you're all sort of the first Shinjitsu practitioners in the world, and if you could see the slides, that's what it would say. And then, and as I said, focusing on this, integrating knowledge and critical thinking, positive psychology, and empowerment, and persuasive language. So these are the different aspects that you worked on, right, in the first 3 sprints, really understanding how to work together, create a tangible output, creating a tangible output, which you've been working on a paper, a specific manuscript for a publication. You focused on some of the exercises on idea generation and also just how to challenge an idea. So these are some of the exciting exercises that you worked through. So we had these sprint cycles beginning in January, February, and now in March. Here we are, March 2nd, today, for the Shinjitsu tournament. And then, of course, there will be a workshop, March 6th to 10th, in Lombok, and many of you will qualify for that, and exciting to see that today. So the rundown, so today we're going through, we had the registration, opening ceremony, that's where we are now, the orientation. Then we'll go straight into a match session. After the first match session, there'll be a lunch break, then we'll have another match session, coffee break, and a third match session. So how will that happen? So this is, it's not well visible. This is a double elimination tournament. So there's an upper bracket. It's not projecting well, but there's an upper bracket there. That this is the first elimination bracket here. If you are unsuccessful in advancing here, you move down to the lower bracket here. So if you lose one of your matches, don't worry about it. You're still in the tournament. You're down here, and you can advance. So eventually we get a final match there. So the loser in the top bracket, as I said, competes again in the bottom bracket. Okay, then, so this is the arena that you will be competing in. So as you see here, you'll be assigned either to be Team A or Team B. There will be a screen. You will project your presentation that you have prepared. You'll project that here. There will be a real-time scoring here for either Team A or Team B, so you'll see how you're doing during the competition in real time. And there will be a referee here at the table. The goal of the referee really is to help keep the match focused. So if someone is taking too long, talking more than the 1 minute that they're allowed, the referee will say, oh, sorry, you have to stop. Or maybe if there's a question that you asked and it isn't really clear at all, then the referee might also intervene and say, please rephrase that. So the goal of the referee is really to keep the match flowing and making sure that it's a useful experience. Then, of course, here you have the judges that will be awarding you points. And we have some honorable judges here with us. We have Ade Radniani, she's here. Fantastic, thank you, Ade, for being here. Just one of your esteemed judges. And we have also Quincy from the US. And we have Ahmad Hidayat from the Ikatan Doctor Indonesia, and Dr. Aditya Warman also. And Iqbal from OUCRU, there he is in the back. Thank you, Iqbal, for being here. And Budiman Karma, am I saying Budiman? Budiman is here, okay. Yeah. And we have, who was the other judge? Yes. Who's not here from ITB? Yeah, great. Thank you so much for being here. And we may be joined later by actually a few other judges who might join. And so the judging will be done by them, and also some of the sensei will be assisting with the judging as well, and with being the referee. And you see here in each room, there's room for a audience. So let's see, next slide here. Can I advance that? Maybe someone can advance the slide for me. Let's see here. So there are basically there's four arenas that are just like this. Let's see. I don't know where the projector signal is. Can someone advance the slide? Whoops. Maybe Iman, can you advance the slide? Or oops, okay. Okay, so let me just explain. Let's go on with this. So basically, you saw the arena there, and there are 4 arenas that are exactly like that one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 4th one is actually a practice arena. That's where you can go and see what's going on, you know, if you want to discuss and practice for your next session and so forth. So arenas 1, 2, and 3, you'll see there's a sign outside those. There will be a match there, and you'll be assigned to that. So actually, in the room for preparation, there will be a display there showing you the bracket, which is the match that you are in, which arena you're supposed to go to. And after the match, you can go back to that same place. Remember, this is the preparation room where it'll be projected. And there, you can see who you're going to compete against in the next match, and which arena, and what time that is going to take place. Okay, so that's how you can keep track. Now, all the posters that you created, so thank you for doing that, all the posters have actually been printed, and they're on display outside the arenas. So this helps you when you find out who you're going to compete against next. You can go outside, look up their poster, and say, okay, I see what you're doing there. I see this weakness. I'm going to attack that. So you have time to go through and prepare in that way. And of course, you can also access all of those electronically. Now, for the scoring scheme, this is very, well, let me go over the match itself. So the match begins with the first team presenting. And right there are 2 teams. So one of the teams will be selected to present. The way that will be decided is by a coin toss. So the referee at the beginning will actually do a coin toss. Whoever wins the coin toss can decide, do they want to present first or second? Okay, the one who presents first, so you can decide strategically, what do you prefer, to go first or second, okay? So if you win the coin toss. Now, the one who wins the coin toss, they will go first, and they will have 2 minutes. You'll have 2 minutes, right, to present, okay? You cannot go over, so I recommended that you not have more than 4 slides, but at the end of 2 minutes, you will be stopped by the referee, okay? Now, after that, your opposition team will have 6 minutes to challenge you and ask you questions. The team challenging you, they will have 1 minute to ask a question. They cannot talk a lot, on and on, to characterize what their question is. They have a minute to ask that. Up to. They can take less than that, okay? And then you have 1 minute to defend. You can't go over a minute to defend also. All right, and now if you go overtime, as you can see in the scoring, the announcement that was changed, you lose 0.2 points if you go overtime, okay? And there will be a timer there, so you will be aware of that also. Now, so the first team will go ahead and present for 2 minutes. They'll be challenged for 6 minutes. Then you have a break, and that's your opportunity to consult with each other and consult with your coach. That's the time in between the rounds. Take a drink of water, whatever you need to do to get ready. And the next round, then the other team is going to present for 2 minutes. And again, they will have to defend for 6 minutes. Now, if at the end of these 2 rounds, the score is tied, then you go to overtime. Okay, and the overtime round would be 4 minutes, and the referee will adjudicate that and will call on each of the teams to raise a challenge to the other one, and the other team will have a chance to defend. Okay? Now, as you're doing this, your scores will be posted on the screen in real time. So the judges have an app, and both judges, they will be awarding points or maybe deducting points, and your score is the sum of those two judges. So whatever points you're accruing there, it's whatever either of the judges or both of them together had awarded. Okay? So if you're curious how you're doing in the match, you can look at the scoreboard, but I would encourage you, whatever you see on that scoreboard, don't be too discouraged or don't be overly encouraged. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Keep focused in the game. That's the key, all right? Okay. So then, at the end of the 2 rounds or the overtime, it'll be clear who won the match, okay? And it'll be declared, team D10 has won this match, and then D10 will be assigned another opponent, and if it's the first loss for the opposing team, D62, whatever, that they will go in the second bracket. If you experience a second loss, then you will not be continuing to be assigned to a match in the tournament, but you'll still be in the tournament because you'll be here with all of us, right? And you can certainly help others, assist them, discuss with them, etc. Okay, so that's the basic flow. Now, how do you score? So your scoring is like this, like we did in the sparring. You, for your presentation itself, you can score up to 3 points, and the judges will assess that based on the clarity and the completeness, some of the same things that we went over in the sparring sessions as we practiced in the first Dojo sprint and also I think the second as well. So you can get up to 3 points there. Okay, now your presentation, you can change that presentation, right? So after your first match, you might think, oh, I presented that, didn't get full points, I think I need to improve it. So you can do that. You just have to make sure that 5 minutes before your match starts, you have uploaded your most recent presentation in the folder, right? That's called tournament presentations, right? And I think you've all received the instructions on this. During the match itself, the projectionist will show whatever is the most recent presentation you have in that folder by your ID of the team. So whatever is there is going to be shown. And if there's nothing there, you won't have a presentation, right? So make sure, and you'll be doing it like I am, without slides, okay? So you'll have to make sure that, get that uploaded there. And like I said, you can change it. Be aware, as the rounds go on, people will be more and more familiar with your presentation. And so you may take that opportunity to maybe add a few details or clarify things that seem confusing. Maybe you lost points for some reason, whatever it is. So just be aware of that. It may be of an advantage to, change it. Okay. So you can get up to 3 points on that. Then, if you challenge or you attack a team, if the attack is valid, meaning that it's actually a challenge of some sort. It's not just a simple question. So I would advise people to not just ask about a question or clarification. Make it clear that I'm concerned about this aspect of your study. I think your sample size is not enough. I think the way you collected the samples is biased because it doesn't include enough controls. Please explain that. Or, so raise a direct challenge to the validity of the study. Just raising a general question, oh, could you explain more why you decided to do the study? So that would not be, a good challenge. You should say, I'm concerned the study may not be innovative because this work has already been done and published 3 or 4 times. What's the new thing here? Okay, so that would be a valid challenge. So if you have a valid challenge, then you get a point. If your challenge is such that the other team it's a valid challenge, but the other team doesn't respond or doesn't know how to respond, then actually you get another point. So that's like a super challenge that you succeeded on. So you would get 2 points there. Now, if the other team defends and they have a valid defense, they get a point. And if they defend very well with citing references or expanding on it more, then they get another point. Now, if you go over time, of course, as I mentioned, you lose 0.2 points. So that's the basic scoring. And I think that's the overview, essentially. And then when you finish your match, there will be a difference in time between the people earlier in the rounds, the early ones that are scheduled, right? If you're in the first group that does your match, each match is around 20 minutes long, right? So it means if you finish early, you'll have more time. You'll have up to 40 minutes to prepare for your next match, right? So use that time wisely. If you're one of the last persons in that particular session, you may have only around 20 minutes or so to prepare. So we realize there's a difference there, but I think overall that should even out because you've all had time to prepare already. So that's it. I think that gives you a good overview. Any questions? Clarifications? Yes? Great question. You can, when you're not competing, we ask that you're in your arena 5 minutes before in the arena itself. But other than that, you can go anywhere you want. I encourage you to go to the other arenas and see what is going on. If you think there's someone there that might be, a difficult competition and you want to really challenge them, you can watch them ahead of time, doing some scouting, who's my competition? Absolutely. So I would encourage you to do that. So stay in the area in general. Yeah. Good question. Yeah. Other clarifications? Comments? All right. Fantastic. Let's do it. Let's head off to the arenas. It's on the 11th floor, and they'll lead you down. All right. Congrats. Good luck, everybody. Do it.